Hello and welcome to Whack-A-Mole Industries and my messy workshop. I am not going to work on cleaning it up today. Why? Because I'm excited. I'm working on a fun project that I kind of wanted to have it done by tomorrow night. The reason being is, well, I'll be doing some Nerf. And I really want a good Nerf blowgun. I have loved Nerf blowguns forever, and I wanted a Nerf blowgun that would fit like Nerf Elites and that type of things, or the Walmart Waffle, Adventure Force or whatever. Darts, just pretty much anything that you'd see normally on a dart battle. I'm going to be building my own out of some brass tubing. Now this brass tubing is some nice heavy duty stuff. I think it was probably for natural gas, I am guessing. I actually got it at Habitat for Humanity for $4. I don't know if that was a good deal or a bad deal. The Nerf dart is right around 12 millimeters, 12.234 millimeters, somewhere around there. So I actually wanted tubing that was a little bit bigger than that. And this comes out to 12.9 millimeters. That's about 0.2 millimeters approximately on either side of the dart in clearance, I think. What I need to do is actually, there's a little burr on either end. So I need to actually take that and remove the burr. Now there's a bunch of ways to do it. I am going to slightly cheat. I'm going to use my mini lathe, but how I'm cheating with it is I'm not going to go about doing anything fancy. I'm just going to put a 1/2-inch drill bit in my tailstock, and then I'm going to keep it somewhat loose and manhandle it around just to deburr the end. Don't, just watch what you do here and don't do what I do in this case. So just come up with a better method for yourself. I gotta get down a little lower so you can see my face. So I'm taking off my ring and everything, of course. If you're not familiar with using a lathe, you don't want to have things on your arms. You don't want to get that getting stuck in your lathe. And you should technically wear short sleeves. So I just made my own. So that's like the main thing for safety. Of course, safety glasses as well. Of course, my fashion statement glasses. I haven't really gotten to pull this out too much in any videos yet, so this is kind of cool to actually get to use this in a Whack-A-Mole Industry video. I love this thing. I wanted this for so many years, saved up for it, and finally got one. I love it. I love having a tool like this in my shop. Power on! Contact! It looks like my arm's awfully close to this. It isn't. There's a ton of space. Feast your ears on all that chatter. That's not what you want to hear if you're trying to machine something precise. Looking really good. So I'm going to be designing this, or I've already started actually, I'm going to make a part that slides over the main part of the barrel that has dart holders on either side so I can have a lot of darts with me. I also am putting some Picatinny rail on both the top and the bottom. The idea is the top is more for looks. The bottom I actually want to put a foregrip on it, so it's a little more angled versus twisting the wrist around as much. Yeah, that was my ring clanking against it. Tungsten carbide rings really make a loud noise when they hit stuff, but it's kind of cool when you go around and you want to feel if an object is wood, metal, or plastic, because the tungsten carbide ring makes this particular sound for each material, which is kind of cool. Besides that fact, getting back to the subject, I want to have that part that slides over it, and then on the other end I want to have a mouthpiece. This is 3/8 I believe NPT thread, I'm not 100% sure. So I just went with that assumption and worked on designing my own thread on Tinkercad. They got a section underneath shape generators that you can go through and enter that and just look up the information for your particular thread on Google. And that's what I did, and entered those whatever those are, specifications. So hopefully when the 3D print is done, it'll thread on this and work great. So then I'll have the hand piece here, and the dart holders, and then the mouthpiece. actually need to now add some support material in the slicer, which is the software that basically converts the STL file into a file that, well, the 3D printer can understand. I'm using the Prusa slicer, which I really do like. I've used Cura as well. But let me know in the comments down below which slicer is your favorite and why, because I'm curious to learn. So now that we have hit the slice button, it tells us all the important details about this 3D print. For example, it's going to use 109 grams of filament, which is going to take approximately 12 hours and 11 minutes to print. We'll see when this is all done. Yeah, so it's going to have to be going through the night. So I'm thinking, when this is printing off, I'm thinking about printing this in black, because I think black PLA would look really sharp once I get this all colored like brass. I think I might be able to have some automotive clear coat laying around. So I might put a clear coat over this once I get it shiny. Shiny! Now that we have a lot of the functional aspects out of the way, I'm just going to check just to verify, yep, the dart slides in nicely, and it's not getting stuck on any burr, which is really good. So we need to just go through and just clean this pipe up. Now you don't have to clean this up, but hey, if I can get shiny brass on this, I want shiny brass on this. So on to cleaning up this tube. I've actually done a tiny bit of trying to clean up on this side. Just experiment, try to see what the best is. I may put this in the lathe and try to use some steel wool and clean this up, or sandpaper. We'll see how this goes. I'm doing a lot of interesting things on this. Yeah, I'm just trying to clean this up. Maybe I'm not using the best practices, but I'm doing my practices, if you know what I mean. I'm getting stuff done. I'm taking care of business. Shields down. Okay, what is gonna be my victim for cleaning up this? Let's start off with the coarse sandpaper. I'm gonna turn it down. I want to put this guard down because my hands are all over the place. Now, some of you might be wondering why I'm not actually using this as a lathe. I don't want to take the time to put a perfectly machined finish on versus sandpaper, and I think steel wool will do the trick faster. Getting a smoother finish without me having to wait as much for everything to move perfectly to get a perfect finish. Okay, I'm not convinced that the lathe is the fastest. Let's just try some of this old sandpaper. This is the area I did with the lathe, this is the area I just did by hand. I think this is much faster, just a lot more tiring. I think I'm going to do it that way. I like it much better. I like the finish. Now that I put the time into using the lathe on that end, I like that brush look better. So in my not painting booth, I'm going to paint this. This is actually the center of my workshop. So apparently there's supposed to be like a brass lacquer that actually exists out there, but I have some ancient clear coat, automotive clear coat, and hopefully it still works because I'm just gonna spray clear coat on this. It works on cars, so it should work on this. At least that's my logic. We'll see. I just gotta shake it up a lot. I bought this like probably 5 years ago, so it'll be cool if it works. Paint fumes. I'm gonna leave it very quickly, but hopefully this sets up and it will work great. It looks good already. Oh, should I just leave this on so you can just watch paint dry for the next probably 12-15 hours? Because I can't do anything on this until the 3D print gets done. Nah, I won't make you watch through all that time. It's hard to get this low in the camera shot. But the barrel of the blowgun is all dry with the clear coat. After sanding it, it looks really pretty. Just has like this long striped side, just where the sandpaper left the lines in it. I really suggest hand sanding it versus using a power tool or something like that, so you can get that long, like grain look, which looks really sharp as it catches the light. It's not the most stealthy blowgun in the world, but it looks sweet. I can't wait to add 3D printed parts on it. So we'll have to go up and hopefully everything fits if I calculate, because I've never made my own threads from scratch on Tinkercad before. And well, I gave it a try. Let's see if it fits. Okay, so the 3D print is done. I printed it in the draft setting because I didn't need high amounts of detail. I just wanted to get done printing fast. So there's gonna be a little more layer lines than if I did like a super detailed or a fine print. If you're not familiar with 3D printers, you don't necessarily want to put your hand on a printing surface because it creates oil that makes your print not stick as well. So I'm gonna try not to touch that while I take it off. I also see the thread is not quite what I'm wanting it to be like, but I hope it'll still thread on. I may end up having to glue it, but part of the fault behind that is that I printed it in draft mode to try to increase the speed of the printing. So with all that said, let's get ready to remove this from the build plate. Hopefully it's gonna come off easily because it's had a lot of time to cool down because the print stopped quite a while ago actually. So we're just gonna scrape it off. Right there, that's actually a little bit of glue. I used a little bit of glue stick to help everything adhere better. So, but there's a lot of support material that needs to come off of this. Now for the mouthpiece. There we go, that's all support material that I need to remove as well. So here are the parts. I already threaded it onto the blowgun. The threads, because I did the draft, they're not matching perfectly. I could technically heat up the tube and try to melt it on, but I kind of forced it on, which is probably not the best practice, but if it works for my purposes. So safety glasses, because sometimes when you pull apart support material, pieces fly everywhere. But I do really kind of enjoy removing the support material. Kind of hard to see because it's black though. I may have to clean up the interior bore of that somewhat. Because I think if I try to fit a dart in there, it's going to get hung up. Yeah. So I'll have to find like a drill bit or something like that to kind of clean out the inside. Onto this piece. It sometimes takes multiple different tools to get all the support material out. There we go. We're going to maybe have to clean the inside of that out a little bit more. I really wish I had a way to turn all this filament that I pull off into actually reusable filament. Just breaking off the support material inside. This is where the blowgun barrel fits, and the Nerf darts fit all on the outside here. Well, it's not going to want to fit. Yeah, because it shouldn't be threading on, it should just slide on. When in doubt, hammer it on, right? I got a piece of wood down below. Okay, I finally got this on. I did end up cracking it a little bit because it's undersized. I may end up making a new file and making a new piece here that's actually the right size so it slides on better. It shoots really well. I actually used this in a Nerf battle. That's part of the reason why it's been a little bit since I actually filmed this part, even though you've seen them all in a row. It worked really well. I was able to reach out quite easily at 30 to maybe 40 feet. The only thing I was limiting my accuracy and my distance was basically there were some really dark areas where we're playing Nerf where I really couldn't see. So if I could see, I could usually hit the target. But yeah, it works really well. I added a foregrip, so it makes a nice, easy, comfortable hold for when I pull it up to my mouth. This is possibly the best Nerf blowgun. So highly recommend doing something like this. I also added, as you may see, Velcro that wraps around the tube and a sling. So the plus side of that then is you can easily sling it over and then you can pull it up and shoot. So it's really nice about that. It does hold like 16 darts, I think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 16 darts. It has a Picatinny rail up here, so if I ever want to put attachments on, I can. The only problem with that is it lines up with the darts, but I mainly put that on so I could put a foregrip on, because it creates a very nice, comfortable hold. Not necessary, just kind of some additional bells and whistles that are kind of nice. This is a solid brass tube, so it's kind of weighty, but it's nice because the thicker tube, lesser chance of it accidentally bending and not being straight. So it retains its accuracy really well. The other nice thing is if you have then, and you're in a Nerf battle, something like this is your sniper. The only thing is you want to have a teammate around you if you're playing something like this probably, who has a faster shooting gun, because you may not be able to transition fast enough if you have some other people charging position with Nerf blasters a little faster than you can switch. So it's good to maybe play with a teammate that you can trust. So that was a little bit of what I learned with this. It was a lot of fun. If you like Nerf, 3D printing, basic metalworking, give it a try. Okay, so where I'm going to be using for testing is actually about 15-20 feet that way, and it's a big white curtain that I'm shooting into because it does a great job just stopping the darts. They are moving pretty fast, which is one of the things I really like about it. It's a very cheap Nerf blaster to have anyways, but accurate, super powerful. Its downfalls, it's not as fast of shooting, but you'll see how it works. So at this point, what would be a build without trying it out? So that's what I'm going to do right now. I hope you had as much of a blast with this build as I did. Make sure to hit the subscribe, thumbs up button, and comment down below. Let me know your thoughts or questions or all of the above. Would love to hear from you guys, and that also really helps the channel and ensures you have the ability to see other videos as they come out. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you go out there and try making something yourself, and we'll see you in future videos, builds, and all of the above. See you later.